The concept of mutuality is really helpful when you're trying to speak across difference. And a lot of times this is used as an alternative to the concept of civility. So I want to explain the difference and explain how you might use this if you're trying to connect with someone different from you. The idea of civility, of course, is that you're making an effort to show respect. You're making an effort to connect with someone in a way that will be experienced well by them. And of course, that's going to be essential if you're talking across difference. However, one problem with civility is that it assumes a universal understanding of what is the proper way to show someone respect. And we know, of course, that different cultures have different ways of showing respect. Different personalities may experience things as respectful or disrespectful, depending on, how they interpret hostility, all that kind of thing. So mutuality is basically two people who want to negotiate a way of treating each other that the other person will experience as respectful. And the habits and ways of being that make up respect are on the negotiation table when you're talking about mutuality. So a lot of times conversations will sort of devolve where one person says, "You're being disrespectful to me, I don't like the way you're treating me." The other person says, "I'm not trying to be disrespectful, I'm doing my best." And they start to have a conflict over the behaviors that one person thinks are disrespectful and the other thinks are just fine. And with mutuality, you say, you know what? According to one person in the relationship, in the conversation, they experience this as disrespectful. So we're going to make adjustments to make both people feel respected. Another way of putting this is that this is a way of resolving the intent-impact dispute. So people get in the dispute, "You're hurting me by the way you're speaking, the tone of voice you're using, the words you're using." The other person says, "I didn't intend that." And that can become a point of conflict. And so with the concept of mutuality, you can say, okay, I didn't intend to have that effect on you, but I want to have this conversation in a way that you experience as respectful. So even though we disagree about whether this tone of voice or this set of words are actually disrespectful, we're going to try to come up with a set of rules for guiding our conversation that works for both people. And that is mutuality. Now, of course, this does not scale up very well because if you have a diverse group of people and they have different personalities and different experiences, everybody is going to experience disrespect differently. In fact, there are people who will experience any kind of disagreement with them as disrespectful. And of course, that's going to be a huge problem because you need a way of disagreeing and figuring out how do we negotiate our relationship. And if any moment of disagreement is inherently disrespectful, you're just not going to be able to have a conversation that has mutuality. So mutuality is absolutely not guaranteed, and it gets harder the more people you add to a conversation, the more interpretations of tone and language there are to deal with. But it's useful because the concept of civility is rooted in a single cultural understanding of what is civil and respectful, and one size fits all is not a very good approach when it comes to speaking across difference or speaking in diverse environments.